Dude, I'm so excited about this game. Please give us a release date. From the creators of Grease. It seems like this game is also playing with a lot with the color palette that we saw present in Grease. You saw a little bit of green, red, yellow, I think a little pink in there as well. And unlike Grease, this game is apparently going to have a little bit of combat in it, which will be really interesting. October 15th, 2024. Let's go, dude. Holy moly. Okay, guys, wait, hold on. Before we continue, we gotta talk about this. We got to talk about this because this is absolutely huge. So I was not expecting one of the opening games that was mentioned in Indie World to be the successor to Grease, Neva. And lo and behold, I mean, they did not waste any time. I almost felt like this game, if it was going to be announced in this showcase, was going to be one of the ones that they showcased towards the end, because I feel like there is a strong fan base that is really excited and that is heavily anticipating the release of this game. And yeah, they didn't waste any time with it. So I want to go through a little bit and talk about some of the things that we see. Obviously, as you guys know, this game is the direct successor to Grease, and I'm actually going to pause it, or I'm going to do the playback speed. We're going to do it at like 50% here. Because I really want to touch on some of the main things that we see that really stand out here. So obviously from the very beginning, one of the great emphases of this game is the color palette. It's one of the things that instantly drew me to Grease. When I first started playing, two of the things that really pulled me in was the musical score and the color palette. I thought they were just two pieces that played so well together. And there were moments like when we're in the red kind of biome, or the red part of the game, that there were parts where this sandstorm is kind of picking up and you have to get cover. And while that sandstorm is playing, you get this very, theatrical, very dramatic piano music that's playing, and it adds a lot of intensity to that moment. And it's what I loved so much about that game, is that it didn't need to do a lot, but what it did, it really maximized those efforts. So when we talk about the color palette, it really pushed color as kind of an emphasis on emotion and what we as the player were experiencing, whether that was danger or reprieve or, resolve or, sadness, right? All of those emotions were displayed through color and through music. And I'm hoping that at least some of that is kind of illustrated in this game as well. And so off the jump, we get a little bit of that in this image, or the starting image, where, we're getting a little bit of, obviously a very large emphasis on color, as we're seeing just bright red. Then the next thing we see is obviously an emphasis on the relationship between Alba, who I believe is the one in the cape, and Neva, who is the pup that we're going to be fighting alongside. And it seems like this, story really centers around the, evolving relationship between these two main protagonists, the relationship that Alba has with Neva and the one that Neva has with Alba, and how they kind of lean on each other throughout this story. From what we've seen in the trailer, at least the first initial trailer that we got way back when, this definitely appeared to be a game that was rooted in tragedy. And I don't know if that's going to be something that we experience in the game, but even when I played Grease, you could definitely get a strong sense of emotion in that game. And it really starts off somber and sad and lonely, and eventually you kind of find pieces of yourself throughout that experience. Not only as the character, but as the player. As you're going through this experience, you're kind of reclaiming pieces of yourself, and it's such a beautiful journey. And I'm curious if this is gonna be one that the game starts off in tragedy and you kind of go on a similar journey. But either way, this is really nice. One thing that I also want to highlight is obviously, we see the red, we see them come together, but then we see obviously different color palettes. You're seeing a little bit of green, a little bit of blue. If we go back a little bit, we can see other elements as well. We can see a little bit of orangish, right? It's very much hinting and pushing color as well, and to tell its story. The yellow, I mean, the vibrant yellows that we see here, and you can see Neva attacking this enemy as Alba remains in the background. And it definitely seems like Neva is there to protect you as you're playing without, as Alba. And I'm curious, one thing we haven't seen, a lot of what we've seen about this game has revolved around trailers and around kind of gameplay mechanics within the game, but we haven't actually gotten a gameplay preview of this game. And that may just be something that they're holding close to the chest. What we're seeing actually could be gameplay footage. But I would love to see exactly if there's a chance that we'll be playing as both of these characters, or if we're only going to be playing as Alba, with Neva kind of being a trusty sidekick, that kind of helps us in a lot of situations. That's still yet to be seen, but I guess we'll see. But I love the yellow look here. I love the intricate bosses. Like, I don't know, the first time I saw this, I got Elden Ring vibes. I got From Software vibes, because these are the kind of enemies you'd see in a game like that. And, these kind of creepy, deformed, enemies that you have to take on in a game like that. So it's interesting to see how that's coming together in this kind of game, and whether or not it's like, a light versus darkness kind of thing. That remains to be seen. A lot of what exists within this story, I think, remains to be seen. This was a really cool shot too, kind of seeing this character plunge a sword, I don't know, into the darkness. I don't really know what to make of this particular scene, but I feel like the color palette that they used really does potentially emphasize the moment as being something of sorrow and sadness, and you can kind of see that with the gestures and expressions of these little dark creatures surrounding this main character. But again, that's still something I'm obviously very much speculating what we're seeing here, to try to make sense of it all. But, obviously let me know in the comments if there's something that you take away from this particular moment. But still really cool to see. Then we get there's another random creature. I don't know. I wonder if these are enemies that we're going to have to fight. That potentially, like what we saw there, could be a boss fight. Like, this definitely seems like it could be a boss fight, some enemy that we have to take on. But again, that's still something that is yet to be seen. Then we see a little bit of what I've been assuming this is gameplay, right? We're seeing a little bit of the traversal here, traversal elements that you'll be able to experience. There's parts of this game that do feel very much like Ori and the Will of the Wisp, in terms of, just the movement and how you're getting around. I love that game. And so having any sort of elements that remind me of that makes me feel instantly at home. Again, emphasis on color here. We're seeing a lot of the grays. We're seeing a lot of grays, blacks, whites in this particular moment. We're seeing I feel like we're seeing a little bit of combat here in the entity that we saw just a few frames ago, fighting alongside or fighting against Alba. And then this is probably the best, like this image here, this 2-3 seconds of footage is definitely one of my favorites, as this is probably the first time we're actually seeing like combat in this game, and again, still not sure if we're going to be playing as just one or both of these characters, but it definitely seems like this game is going to focus a little bit more on action, where Greece didn't. I don't think Greece had any combat at all. I mean, a lot of it was you running away and kind of almost fearing for your life in some moments, and using the abilities that you had, which weren't many, to try to survive and live to see another day. So it's nice to see that you're going to get a little bit of combat. Now, I'm curious if there's going to be any upgrade trees or any moments in which we can kind of evolve our characters. But again, it seems like there's a lot within this game that they're holding very close to their chest that we still haven't seen. And with the game being so close, coming out on October 15th, which is less than 2 months away, it definitely feels like there's a lot that we're probably not going to see until the game comes out. Now, there's a part of me that really likes that. I really love that they haven't really shown a lot about this game. This game was announced what feels like 2, maybe 3 years ago. And, this year, over the last couple months, we got 2 trailers for it. And so you know, it's exciting to have a lot of questions and be curious about what exactly we're going to see in this game. And I think that's what's ultimately going to lead to it being very special. For me, I'm just excited that this game is coming out on this year. You know, there was a part of me that was really nervous that this game was going to be releasing or going to get delayed until 2025, as, you know, there still hadn't been any concrete date. And, you know, it's exciting to see that this game is going to come out. I'm definitely going to be playing it. I'm very excited about it. If you guys are as well, let me know in the comment section if this is a game that you're looking forward to. If you're going to be playing Neva or Neva on day one, I definitely will. We'll be going through this whole playthrough and be experiencing this game together. I think this is really going to be a special one. And, you know, part of me saying that is if you've played Grease, you know that Nomada Studio, Devolver Digital, they don't mess around. Like there's some serious quality. And I think Grease is considered still one of my favorite indie games of all time. Just such a beautiful, special game. And as soon as I saw that they were making, you know, kind of a different kind of story, I was instantly hooked. So excited to see this game, excited to play it on, you know, when it finally releases. If you guys are interested in it as well, you're going to be playing it on day one, be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section. Drop a like on this video if you do enjoy and you're excited about more indie games. There's so many experiences that I'm so excited to share with you guys. And yeah, subscribe if you're new here. If you love indie games, you love game playthroughs, you love sharing stories together, a lot of that is what we really do and focus on here on the channel. And I can't wait to share more exciting experiences with each and every one of you. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.